Howdy y'all, my name is Brent Hamilton, Mistrunner. Join with the Mistrunner tribe. And today I want to talk to y'all about boomer style tanking. Oops, I fixed this. But Brent, what do you mean by boomer style tanking? And why should I care? Well, what I'm talking about is whenever you're in a group with people you don't know very well, or maybe they aren't quite as geared or prepared as your main raiding friends. A zoomer style tank would be someone who's pulling as fast as they can, cutting all the corners they can, wearing as much threat gear as they can. Just jumping right into the next pull, using more threat abilities and mitigation abilities, using battle shout instead of commanding shout. But I'm in a situation here that I wanted to share with y'all. In trade chat, they were saying, want to buy a tank for heroic Alcatraz. And I thought, hey, I've tanked heroic Alcatraz lots of times. How about I do that? Well, there was just a couple of hiccups. One of them is, we don't really have the best comp overall. We have 2 shamans, a mage, and a shadow priest. And the issue is, the healer is an elemental shaman in elemental gear. I did not know this when I signed up for the run, but I can still tank the run. I just need to do it boomer style. Boomer style means you take no risks. You're not rushing in, you're not hurrying people up, you're making sure they get topped off with mana before you go in for the next fight. Another thing that I recommend doing is explain some of the pulls. Remember to stand back, these robots explode upon death. It doesn't hurt to give people reminders. And if you can do that in a nice way, it's going to help the run be nice and smooth. I'm not here with anything to prove to anybody. I'm just here to do the job of tank the run. And it's better to tank slow and clean than it is to tank fast and then wipe, which ends up being even slower than slow pulls that are very safe. I'll show you my gear loadout here. This is actually my zero risk choice. I'm wearing mitigation helm, mitigation neck, mitigation shoulders. I put on a DPS cape because I'm feeling kind of feisty. Mitigation chest, mitigation bracers, mitigation weapon, a shield, mitigation trinket, mitigation rings, mitigation boots, and so on. Pretty much in full mid. In addition to that, I've got a Flask of the Titans on. It's a nice budget way of increasing my survivability and giving the healer a little bit more wiggle room to mess up without me dying. If you notice, the healer is also doing stuff like Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt. You could yell at someone about that, but I just prefer to accept that as a fact of this run. Before pulling, take a look at people's mana.
Why would I call on you?
Oh, people are having phone calls.
Lifting, most likely.
When I need someone to
The mage
prance
needs
around
mana.
like an overstuffed
The
peacock.
quotation marks healer is good.
Then I'll commit myself to ignoring you.
What would you know about commitment, sheepside?
You're the one who should be. Wait.
They don't like each other very much. Pulling nice and safe, range pulls around the corner, one at a time. Devastate shield block, keeping up thunderclap every time, keeping up demo shout every time. I'm treating this shit like it's Morogrim Tidewalker tanking, where it's gonna be hitting me super hard. But is this a super hard hitting dungeon compared to Morogrim? No, it's not. However, my healer situation is also not very close to what it would be on Morogrim. How did they even pull that? That's the amazing part of this, is they'll find ways to pull. Oh, he walks by the doorway. That's a good lesson to learn. So if you had a big pumper group, any unk, you could just kill that one and then kill the next one and it would be fine. But DPS it could be higher. Since that's the case, well, we're gonna pull it what's called way the fuck back. Let's see that pull. Once again, But let's have the real boomer style. Another note for the boomer style tanking would be you don't do skips. Many people think that they can save time doing these dungeons with some skips. But this is misled, because if even one person messes up the skip, then the skip ends up costing you more time than it would have saved. So if I see a patrol or something moving around, I would prefer to just pull it, invest maybe 30 seconds to a minute on that pull, and just have it be nice and clean for everybody else. In addition, since I have a rogue friend, Laspo the locksmith, he's always been able to open this door, so I don't have the key. This requires a key or a rogue. Let's see if this person's got the key. They don't have the key. Let's see if this person... Oh, someone opened it. Okay. Going in here once again. Alcatraz is one of the hardest heroics. And we're not exactly giving ourselves the easiest time with the group comp. But we can do this, I believe. We did the shadow boss earlier. It took us a wipe, and then I said, you know, it'd be really great. Shadow protection prayer. So then the priest reached out and he prayed over us to protect us from the shadows. And it worked. We were able to get it down. But some groups will prefer to just skip that boss. He's a bit of a pain. Maybe even the hardest in here. The great thing about a flask is you don't get mad about your consumes when you die, because it stays up. I just popped this at the start of the run. Gives me a little bit of extra health. Flask of the Titans used to be way better than it is now. But they nerfed a bunch of consumes at the end of vanilla and pre-patch. It ends up saving us some money. One of the toughest parts of Nax was the really demanding consumable cost, if you wanted to have a power level necessary to down the toughest bosses, and just keep a good pace throughout the raid. One thing that's pretty important for managing the morale of a run is to not point fingers or get mad at people. Usually that just causes people to play worse. You can give a reminder about what the mechanic was, but there's not really a reason to call someone shit or make fun of them. People generally don't like that. Alright, they're paying me for this run 75 gold. I negotiated that up. They said 30 gold, and I was like, heroic Alcatraz, 30 gold, and you're joshing me. I've already spent more than 30 gold on consumes in here, just from this run alone. And they said, okay, how about 75? I said, I'll do that. So it's a bit scuffed, but we're going to treat this like a professional. This is a battle and guardian elixir, and then I've got a food buff. Let's just be really diligent here. Ready, check. Okay, priest is not quite ready yet, but we have Stam. We have double Totem of Wrath, which is great. I don't know if those stack, but we have 2 of them. Don't fall prey to her charms. She's like all spanking herself and shit. A lot of people get distracted, they get seduced, and they can't focus. Alright, single pull. That's great. That's what we wanted. All the way around the corner. 0 risk. Look at this guy. He's doing heavy damage. My healer, let's take a look at the combat log. He's doing lesser healing wave spam, which it might feel like the safe option, but I don't think it's the mana efficient option. On a big tank who's this geared like Brunt, you'd probably want to use healing wave, just the big heal. But I'm not going to backseat game this person. I'm just going to accept the situation at hand and adjust accordingly as a tank. I'm gonna pull this one back as well. No risk. No risk. Double checking line of sight. I can see the healers drinking. And now they're gonna cast an offense ability. Oh, they were starting to betray us. They were seduced. Anyways, y'all don't need to see this whole run, but I feel like these situations are really important for just managing yourself and how you interact with other people. The game is pretty stressful, and you can't always play the same way, because every group is different, depending on who's in the group. A strong tank is a flexible tank, one who can adjust to the circumstances before them, and can be quick on the taunt when they get gouged. A noble tank is a patient tank who does not yell at their friends, but lets them learn and train in their own ways. Anyway, from me, Brunt, stay safe out there. Don't forget to repair before you leave town, and ancestors watch over you.